Jay Mason coming to you from beautiful Tupelo, Mississippi. And we were all born with a system that responds to cannabis. It's a built-in communications network, and it wasn't discovered until the 1990s. It's called the endocannabinoid system, and its job is to keep us in balance, to keep everything running smoothly, like our mood, our appetite, our pain level, even our sleep. And cannabis works because it helps our bodies do what it was designed to do, and that's to maintain balance or homeostasis. So inside our bodies are millions of these tiny locks, and they're called cannabinoid receptors. And there's mainly two of them. CB1 receptors are located in your brain and our spinal cord, and they regulate things like our mood, pain, memory, and appetite. CB2 receptors are located throughout our immune system, and they help control things like inflammation and healing. And our bodies produce our own cannabinoids that fit into these locks, and they're called endocannabinoids. So that term endo means within. Now here's where it gets fascinating. So the two main compounds in cannabis, THC and CBD, they look almost identical to the cannabinoids that our bodies produce already. And THC fits perfectly into those CB1 receptors, and that creates feelings like relaxation and pain relief. CBD adjusts kind of how the lock responds. It calms overactive signals, and it reduces inflammation by extending the life of our own cannabinoids. And it brings it back to that natural calm feeling that we want. So cannabis also produces, in addition to the over 100 cannabinoids that we know about, it also produces over 200 terpenes. And terpenes are the same molecules that make lemon smell citrusy and pine trees smell fresh. And they also are the part of the cannabis plant that provides the effects like pain relief or euphoria, energy, focus, those types of things. So if all this wasn't fascinating enough, the endocannabinoid systems is one of the very few systems in our body that actually talks backwards. So the way most systems in our bodies work is it's one way. So think about a teacher communicating to a student. One-way communication. Well, what happens when that student raises their hand or asks a question or says, slow down, you're going too fast, or please clarify this? Well, that's what retrograde signaling is, and that is the extremely unique way that cannabis can work backwards in our bodies, and that's why it does such a very good job regulating, is because it's not just one-way communication. It's that system that goes back and forth. Now, keep in mind when I mentioned that the endocannabinoid system wasn't discovered until the 1990s, cannabis was placed on Schedule 1, which is the most restrictive category of drugs in the United States, and there's 5 of them. But cannabis was placed in Schedule 1 in 1970. The endocannabinoid system wasn't discovered until the 1990s, over 20 years later. So this has produced what's known as the Cannabis Catch-22. Because in 1970, cannabis was placed in this category that made it almost impossible to study. And the only way to get it out of that schedule into another one that's not as restrictive is to be able to study it. So that's called the Cannabis Catch-22. But the endocannabinoid system, it is not just for us human beings. It's in every vertebrate on Earth, fish, birds, cats. So the answer really to why cannabis works is that our bodies are already familiar with it. We're used to it, and it fits perfectly with how we were made. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And my new book on Amazon is available called The Surprising Truth About Cannabis. Thanks for watching.